Adam Maker was first up to be interrogated. I decided to take the lead and go in hard until I got what I wanted. That sounds wrong out of context. So then, Mr. Maker, if that is your real name.
It is.
We've done some digging and found your alibi is airtight. You were in that meeting at the time Jimmy was murdered, and what's more, you don't stand to benefit at all from his death. You have no motive, no means, and no opportunity. So why don't you save us all a bit of time and confess?
Why would I do that?
Oh, well, now I've said that all out loud, I guess you're right. You can go.
Really?
Yeah, unless you want to confess.
No, that's okay. I hope you find the killer.
Me too.
That went well.
Well, at least we know he didn't do it. Let's try Max Butler next.
I can do this if you want.
No, that's okay, Pete. Bring him in.
I'm not saying anything until my lawyer gets here.
Okay, I'll say it for you then. I killed Jimmy because he destroyed my business. I hated him, so I beat him to death. Hey, Pete, did you hear that? He confessed.
I didn't confess.
I thought you weren't going to say anything.
I didn't do it.
You told us you were on the phone about a financial matter. Your phone records say you were calling Jimmy himself. The call ended just before he was killed. Why did you lie to us? What are you hiding?
It was a financial matter. It was blackmail.
Blackmail?
Yes, an act of coercion, using the threat of incriminating information.
What are you blackmailing him with?
Their phone. I had some photos taken of Jimmy and another woman, not Patricia. I said I'd keep them to myself if he dropped the lawsuit, and paid me 10 grand. If I killed him, I wouldn't have got paid.
Makes sense.
So, can I go now?
Yeah, sure.
Great, thanks.
John, the blackmail.
Sorry, yes. My mistake. You're under arrest for blackmail. With one suspect left, we were confident we had our woman. All we needed now was a confession. Pete and I took on the role of good cop, bad cop to try and get the result we wanted.
Please sit down, Mrs. Black Widow.
Thank you.
Don't get too comfortable. You're going to jail.
What?
We checked your alibi. You were seen looking up books about divorce law.
You knew Jimmy was having an affair, didn't you? You confronted him and killed him. Admit it!
No!
You disgust me, you cold-hearted witch. You put on this act of the grieving widow, but inside you're a black-hearted, evil, manipulative psychopath who murdered her husband so you wouldn't have to divorce him. Admit it!
Wow.
We have a development. Did John do bad cop again?
Yeah. What have you got for us?
We found the murder weapon. It's a bookend and it's covered in fingerprints. What's interesting is that they don't belong to Mrs. Black Widow, Mr. Maker, or Mr. Butler. We have another suspect.
Any other clues?
Yes, and I can tell you in limerick form. There once was a woman, we found her hair, mid-length, blonde. I was getting to that.
Do we know who it belongs to?
Not yet, but I have a theory. We looked into the alibi of Mrs. Black Widow, and although she was there, the librarian wasn't. The librarian did it. Joyce, we don't know that yet. We need to get a sample of her hair to compare it. Check the DNA. You should arrest her before she gets away.
Thank you both. Mrs. Black Widow, I'm sorry for keeping you here. We have a new lead to follow and we no longer consider you a suspect.
Really? Oh, thank you, Detective.
No hard feelings?
You stay away from me.
Did I go too far again?
Yeah, definitely too far.
We rushed over to the home of Sheila Donnelly. We had enough to arrest her for the murder of Jimmy Widow. Justice was about to be served and it was going to be delicious. Sheila was just leaving with a full suitcase. I doubt she was going shopping.
Oh, detectives. How's your investigation going?
It's over, Sheila. We know you killed him.
You weren't there when Mrs. Black Widow was at the library. You checked the records to see what she borrowed to give yourself an alibi.
We know about the affair. Max Butler took photos of you both and was blackmailing Jimmy. We found hair at the crime scene and fingerprints on the weapon, a bookend, an appropriate weapon for a librarian.
All we have to do is to compare a sample from you, and there won't be a jury in the land that won't convict you.
We've got you hook, line, and sinker for this, Sheila. Why did you do it?
Everybody loved him. That was the problem. He loved his wife, and he loved me. I went round there because I knew his wife would be away. He had just come off the phone to Max Butler and told me it was over. Just like that. I'm not some library book to put back when you're done with me. We had an argument, and I told him to choose between me and his wife. He chose her, the woman he was cheating on. He said he was going to tell her everything to stop Max from blackmailing him again. I couldn't let him do that. I grabbed the nearest thing I could find, a heavy bookend, and I hit him over and over again. I put the James Blunt CD on to make it look like a robbery gone wrong. I loved him. That's why I had to kill him.
I can't believe you fooled us at the library. I guess you really can't.
Don't say it.
Judge a book by its cover.
Damn it. Sheila Donnelly, you are under arrest for murder.
Back at COPD HQ, Sheila Donnelly was processed and weeks later found guilty of murder. Another case flawlessly solved by Who and Dunnet.
John Who? You've been served.
What's this? Emotional distress? Who's this for? Patricia Black Widow? Fuck.